Good morning, everyone. It's been a long time since I've been on. I've been busy doing, the regular heavy stuff with books and trying to write programs and events that we're having live in Resonant Essentials. And the last few months, I've been thinking about starting up the channel again, so far as I'm concerned, by doing my lives. I was impressed that the time is now. There is nothing like today to get started. But more importantly, it's time that we started really working at raising our consciousness. It's time that we start recognizing that we're on a short list of frustration, pain, anger, fear, and all of that needs to start going away. What does that mean so far as while we're here and what we're doing? Resonant Essential stands for Rising Consciousness. It was created to help other people meet their own levels of awareness and helpfully progress from that point further. A lot of the things that we're doing nowadays is that we are living in fear because of the 3D consciousness. And what I mean, for those of you that are um, enmeshed in this kind of conversation, one of the problems is that we sit and we go so long into what are the politicians doing to us? What is our economy doing to us? How are we different from everybody else? And we're not changing that dialogue into where's my community? Where's the people that I need to engage in? Um, I want people are struggling with how did they change their life? How did they make it better? Well, they don't buy into the division. If you're ready to let go of that division, if you're ready to start moving forward into a higher state of consciousness, then maybe now's the time that you start looking at what's creating the stress and the struggle that you're actively engaged in. What's creating the fear and anxiety, what's creating your lack of abundance, because truly we are in a time where we should be interacting with the rise in consciousness. We should be interacting with ourselves, meditating more, engaging more, and growing more on a committed, deeper level, not for fame or fortune. I mean, in my opinion, if I get my rent paid that month, I'm blessed. If I get the center going strong and people are running around enjoying each other's company and connecting, then I've done something different. I never started this to be about me. Believe me, this doing YouTube and getting up and doing public speaking has been one of the hardest things that I've had to do. Don't get me wrong, I did learn how to um, do Toastmasters. I did give sermons back in the day in a metaphysical church. I did learn how to speak to the public, but it's still a stretch for me to say, hey, I have something I want to share with you. I think that you're something more and I see it in you. I want people to know that they always have a safe place to come to when it comes to Resonant Essentials, when it comes to my classes. But more importantly, I want them to live a better life. And that better life starts with learning to let go of all the things that we are having to deal with. When Pluto was in Capricorn, it was about structure and Capricorn, and I am a Capricorn moon, so I know this one strong, very intensely. We like our systems in place. We like to just keep going step by step by step into our future. We like the structure, we like the foundation, but our foundations need to change, and that's probably one of the hardest things that people have to deal with. I don't care what astrological sign you are, everybody likes the status quo. And when they don't have an answer to the unknown, then they don't understand where it is that to point their arrow to move in that direction. And that's what Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius is about. It's about disrupting those systems. It's about making that change, shifting to higher gear. we can't keep doing business the way that we've been doing business. It's created lack, it's created bankruptcies, it's created fear, anxiety, and that's what the world has been operating on for far too long. I could point a finger and say, oh, it's the cabal. And then you could be upset with me going, she's a conspiracy theorist. I could tell you it's the government. And again, you're going to get, oh, gosh, she's a conspiracy theorist. I think we've done this to ourselves. And we've done it because we've bought into the programming mindset that we are not good enough, unworthy. We're created that fear from many lifetimes of being on this planet and creating a hoarding aspect, a greed aspect, a dominance factor. When if you really are ready to move into higher consciousness, you're not running out there making money by spanking people. Um, you're about consoling the world. You're about bringing healing. You're about not smacking them at the dinner table when they say something different than what you believe. We have created that fear in our children and in our children's children. We have ruled our lives with an iron fist, and our lives have been ruled the same. We have given over our power to people who are really not worthy of controlling our lives. They don't know anything about it. I tell this to people a lot. If I'm not wearing your ring, if I'm not sleeping in your bed and you're not paying my bills, then you don't get to have a buy-in into my everyday thought process. You don't get to make a judgment or cast fear or anger my way if you're not part of my life project. That doesn't mean that I don't share things. It doesn't mean that I don't work with people willingly. Of course I do. I have many people who have become students of mine. I've become a mentor to some. Others have left enraged at me because they don't understand that they're trying to do things for the financial benefit or for the look at me ego factor. And those are the people I can't help. So I let them go their separate way. And they do this out of their fear. That's what we can't be doing. You can't engage this work by saying, I can't afford, I can't do, I can't see, I'm not worthy. That's your body hears that. It becomes traumatized. Your mind hears that and it goes into the next life. It goes into past lives because all lives happen simultaneously. So the thoughts that you're creating this moment today are the thoughts that are going out through all your lives. And you're affecting yourself and your level of spiritual progression. I see a lot about people doing, they're using DMT or things like this to help make those spiritual connections instead of sitting in meditation. I get it. They connected, and that's wonderful. But to really know how to build it for all your other lives, to connect to a deeper sense of being, you have to give up the ego and you have to give up the quick fix. You need to learn to do it for yourself. You need to learn to do it for your family. Once you connect, you start shifting the reality for all your family, for everyone. It took me a long time this lifetime to really accept my path in this life. I guess this is my coming out party. It's been kind of hard because I think, oh well, this person must know more than me. This person needs to do more, or they need to be seen. They need to be heard. The problem is that that's not exactly how it works. The problem is that we have to go in this world and we have to be who we are. And we have to be our own truth sayers. We have to be the change we want to see in the world, absolutely. But more importantly, we all have a job to do in this shift. Some of us, just by lighting up our energy, by raising our vibration, you will change the energy of people at the grocery store. You will move through your life and you will bring peace of mind by a smile at somebody when you go to work. We have the ability and we have the willingness to make those commitments, then we have the obligation to step forward and be a part of this rise in consciousness. People say, well, the ETs need to save us or the archangels need to save us. No, no, nobody can save us. We have to grow past that. We have to spiritually embrace our well being, embrace our consciousness. They don't rescue. Our spirit team gives us our free will. That's one of the things on this planet that's highly important for us to understand and remember in everything that we do. They are our team. They have our back. It's like the guy at bat is not expecting everybody in the dugout to come swing the bat for him so he can run around the base. It's not how it works. The guy standing on the pitcher's mound is that adversarial expression that we create. We build it in our world so that we have something to strike out against, so that we can maybe hit a home run or at least get to first base. But what if we understood that we could do away with all of that level of understanding? What if we understood that we could be our own pitcher, our own catcher, our own, what, a bat person, our own bat swinger? I don't know. I can only go so far with the sports metaphor. Sorry. But the fact is that we are our own responsibility because our world is created. A lot of times I look back through my life trying to see, oh, did this make a difference? And the reason is not to go back and wish it was different. If I did, I would be already so many more levels up than I am today. Maybe I'd be out of here because I learned everything and I'd shared everything that I was capable of sharing, but that's not where I'm at. And I understand that we are here bringing balance and commitment, and we are here doing the things that we need to do. We can't do these things without making those commitments to ourselves and making those decisions. And that means sometimes we have to go back and say, what if I had turned right instead of left? What if I dislocated my neck, C1 and C2. I still deal with a lot of pain from that. And sometimes I think, oh, gosh, what if I just didn't go up and talk to Mike Ragusi? Because that's who dropped me on my neck. And I think, but then I wouldn't have had what I needed from that experience. So everything that I know, even though I go back and review what could I have done better, different, otherwise, it's all been in perfected being because I am in the perfect place that I am today. One of the programs that I started and that I'm hoping to get funded so people can start learning is we are going to go through some economic downturns. We are going to have, because we wanted them. We want these things to change, not just for us, but for our tomorrows. We chose this time on this, to be on this planet at this time in this experience, to go through this shift in consciousness. To think otherwise is silly. To victimize ourselves to the circumstances, just even sillier, or to be the bully in the circumstances, even crazier. But we're here and we're staying strong. And one of the things that we have to do in that staying strong point is to recognize that we chose this. And we chose the fact that we're going to do business in a different way. So I started the Enlightened Business Hub. I started it because I realized too many people are not consciously doing business. They're trying to do business like we did it in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Too many people my age, classified senior centers, baby boomers, whatever you want to say, too many of these people are going, I want to do business the way it was back when I was a kid. It's not our future. So if anything, we as the boomers should be lending our energy to shift consciousness so that our kids and grandkids have a better outlook, a better financial paradigm, a better economic structure than the one that we have allowed to so decimate this world. That's why the Enlightened Business Hub, it teaches on metaphysical principles and how to own those principles while you grow your business. There's still a part, because some of us are still in 3D consciousness, that we need to do that scaling up of our business, but you can do it with the metaphysical principles. We can do it with ways that are more powerful, more enlightening. These things, we can do to help bring this shift from that level of what was into what will be. But we have to get to what is now. And what is now is creating a lot of fear, and it's doing away with that fear. So take those things into meditation. Learn true meditation, not something guided by somebody. If I take you on a guided meditation, I'm taking you where I want you to go to have the experience I want you to have, because I think that I know best. But I don't, because each one of you are a different spiritual being. Your energy is as different as mine is to you. We are magnificent, metaphysical, multidimensional, eternally mortal beings of love and light. That was a phrase that I learned from Michael J. Rhodes, who was a spiritual teacher who recently, in the last couple of few years, passed from this earth. I took his classes, and I still think you can get them online. Very much worth the effort. You have to be ready for him. He has a lot of really great books, because if you can't understand his books, it's going to be a little more difficult to build with those principles. So there are books out there that will build up to those consciousness statuses. I've written one that helped bring you out of that fear-mongering religious conversations that control and bring fear and superiority and patriarchy to the table, and it moves it out of that into a different level of awareness. There are things out there, people, places, ways that you can educate yourself, but you have to step up and step forward. So if you're thinking, I am something more, you're right, you are. If you think there is something more, you're right, there is. It's up to you to get there. I'll be back. And the next, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay, sometimes it is. Anyway, I'll be back in the next, I don't know, week or so, maybe sooner, maybe later. I don't know. Just whenever spirit impresses me, it's time to do this. I don't know how to shut this off. So, oh, there it is. There's the button to end stream. They changed YouTube a little bit. That's how long it's been. It's been a couple of years. My heart to all of yours. I absolutely love and hold every one of you in my arms and my consciousness. We'll talk maybe next time about the difference between unconditional love and universal love, because there is a difference. But I hope you have a wonderful holiday day, and thanks for tuning in. My heart to yours. Bye for now.